Okay, today we are still working on inequalities, but we've got this riddle worksheet. And because I never care if you actually solve the riddle, I didn't even put the um, information for it. I did just take the answers so that you can at least find it. And that's why I like riddle worksheets, because it has the answers on it, but we don't really care about the actual riddle. So let's just jump into solving it. So you've already learned how to do this. They're solved the same way that you solve multi-step equations, except instead you have an inequality symbol. So I'm going to move one of the variables first. I'm going to choose to minus the 3x. That is not the only thing that you could have moved first. It's just what I'm going to choose to move. So they cancel out on the right, leaving me with 10. Bring down the symbol. And then we've got 5x minus 3x. 5x minus 3x is 2x. And then I'm going to bring down my plus 2. All right, next up, we're just going to subtract 2 from both sides. Cancel, cancel, bring down your 2x, bring down your symbol. 10 minus 2 is 8. I feel like I'm going through this really fast. If I'm going too fast, be sure to pause the video and catch up or try it on your own. Divide both sides by 2. I hope you remember the trick about when you divide or multiply by a negative. You will take this symbol and switch it, but we happen to be dividing by a positive, so I'm not going to worry about it. X is going to be greater, keep the symbol the same, than 8 divided by 2, which is 4. So I like to see that X is greater than 4 is one of my answers, because that just helps me find that I did it right. X is greater than 4. So I'm just going to mark it out just because I want to make sure that I'm finding the right answers. So that is what we got. So I feel confident we did it right. Number 2, I'm going to choose to subtract 2x on both sides first. This is not the only thing you could do, but again, I like to move the variable first, and I like to stay away from negatives if I can. So by subtracting 2, I'm not going to have a negative when I go subtract 2 here. So 6x minus 2x is 4x. Bring down your minus 20. Next up, you would add 20 on both sides. This should feel a lot like solving equations. They cancel over here, leaving me with 4x by itself. Bring down the symbol exactly how it looks. 8 plus 20 is 28. Last step, divide by 4, which is a positive. So again, I'm not flipping the symbol. I'm going to keep it exactly what it is. 28 divided by 4 is 7. So here's what I have. Because my variable is on the right side, but all of my answers over here have the variable on the left side, I really need to read it from backwards, from right to left. So this says x is bigger. See how the open mouth is toward the x? So x is everything bigger than or equal to 7. In fact, if it helps you rewrite it over here, x is greater, so x is greater than or equal to 7. So what we're looking for is this. So see, it looks like I switched the symbol because I wrote it instead going this way, going that way. So as long as the open mouth is facing the x, then you can write it the other way if you want. So we're looking for x is greater than or equal to 7. X is greater than or equal to 7. So it's right there. So we did it right. All right, number 3. I'm going to get rid of this minus 1x first. I'm going to choose to add 1x to both sides. Again, not the only thing you could have done first. That was just my choice. So 4x plus 1x is 5x. I'm going to bring down my plus 49 and my symbol and 9. Next up, I would minus 49 on both sides, subtract 49. Cancels out over here, leaving me with 5x. Bring down the symbol. 9 minus 49 is negative 40. Okay, don't let this confuse you. We are not going to flip the symbol just because there's a negative, because what we're doing is dividing by positive 5. So since we're dividing by a positive, we don't need to flip the symbol. Just bring it down exactly how it looks. Negative 40 divided by a positive 5 is negative 8. Double check that in your calculator. I'm doing it just in my head, so make sure that's right. We got x is less than negative 8. X is less than negative 8. Yeah, up here, A. All right, number 4. This one's a little quicker, except I can't add 99. A lot of people might want to add 99, but you can't do that because this number has an x and the 99 does not. So instead, I'm going to have to move my 9x by subtracting it. So let's subtract that 9x on both sides. Cancel, cancel. It leaves me with negative 99. Bring down your symbol. 18x minus 9x, you can subtract because they both have x's. That would be 9x. And then the last step I'm going to do is divide by 9. Remember, I'm dividing by a positive, so I do not need to flip the symbol. Keep it exactly how it is. Negative 99 divided by 9 is negative 11. Okay, this is, again, one of those situations where x comes last. So, but yet our answers always have x coming first. So x needs to be less than or equal, if you want to rewrite it, to negative 11. The open mouth is facing the 11. So it needs to be the negative 11. So it needs to be like that, which is right here. Okay, number 5. Again, if I'm going too fast, just pause the video or make sure you are going at a speed that makes sense to you. Let's distribute. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12, so it looks like minus 12. Bring down your symbol and 15. Next, you're going to add 12. Add 12. Cancel, cancel. Bring down your 3x. Bring down your symbol. 15 plus 12 is 27. And then last step is we're going to divide by 3. And again, we're dividing by positive, so don't flip the symbol. Leave it the same. 27 divided by 3 is 9, I think. So x should be greater than 9. X is greater than 9, this very last one. All right, number 6. We're going to distribute this 4. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times negative 2x is negative 8x. And then I'm going to bring down my symbol and my 28. All right, next I'm going to move the 20, and it's a positive 20, so I'm going to subtract it. A lot of kids might think they would add it because they see this negative here, but that negative goes with the 8. It doesn't go with the 20. So to get 20 to be 0, we're going to subtract it on both sides. Cancels out. 20 minus 20 is 0. 28 minus 20 is 8. Bring down your symbol. Bring down your negative 8x. Okay, here we go. To get x by itself, we are going to divide by a negative. Okay, if you divide both sides by a negative, you're going to take that symbol and you're going to switcheroo, make it go the other direction. So bring down our x, and now our symbol's going the other way, and 8 divided by negative 8 is negative 1. So it should be x is less than, remember you read it from the variable backwards, x is less than negative 1, or if you want to, you can rewrite it. But it has to be this little open mouth facing the negative 1. So let's try to find it. Right there, it's S. All right, it is time to flip the paper over. Let's check out what's on the back. Oh, and we went ahead and wrote the whole list of answer choices again. I know that we have actually already crossed a bunch of them off from the front side, but I just wanted you to see them again back here. So we're just going to keep going and pretend, if you want to, you can go back through and cross off the ones from the front. So the back side is a little bit harder, but you guys have got this. We actually did much harder ones in the notes that we did before this assignment. So 3 times 2n as you distribute is 6n. 3 times 1 is just 3, positive 3, so put a plus in between. And let's bring down your 4n plus 9. Next, you're going to move a variable. I'm going to choose to subtract 4n. So that's not the only thing you could do, but that's what I'm going to choose to do. When I subtract 4n on the right, they cancel out, leaving me with 9. I'm going to bring down my symbol. 6n minus 4n on the left is 2n. And let's bring down plus 3. Next, I'm going to minus 3 on both sides, subtract 3. Cancel them out, bringing down our 2n and our symbol. 9 minus 3 is 6. And then the last step is divide both sides by 2, and that's a positive 2, so we do not need to flip the symbol. So keep the symbol exactly the same. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So we're looking for an answer of n is greater than or equal to 3. N is greater than, right there, E. All right, number 8, we're getting there. Let's distribute on the right. 7 times 2 is 14. 7 times n is just squish it together, 7n. And it's positive, so let's put a plus in between. Bring down your 3n minus 10 and your symbol. And next we're going to move a variable. I'm going to actually choose to subtract 3n. So I'm going to minus 3n. Again, if you choose something different, you should end up with the same answer I do. It shouldn't matter. Those cancel out, leaving me with negative 10. Bring down 14. All right, 7n minus 3. 7 minus 3 is 4n, and it's positive, so I'm going to put a plus there. Next thing I want to get rid of is I want to subtract 14 on both sides so that the 14 cancels out. I'm going to bring down my 4n and my symbol. Negative 10 minus 14 is not 4 or negative 4. If you're negative 10 and you subtract more, then you're getting to be a greater negative. So that should actually be negative 24. Check it in your calculator. Negative 10 minus 14 is negative 24. Okay, we are not flipping the symbol just because there's a negative, because look what we're actually doing. We're dividing by positive 4 on both sides. So since we're dividing by positive, we do not flip the symbol. We're going to leave it how it was. Negative 24 divided by 4 is negative 6. The problem is the variable comes last. So if you want to rewrite it, you can to where the n comes first. Just be sure the open mouth, the greater than, is facing the n. So it's going to go like this. So let's look for that answer. It's right there. Second one, G. All right, 4 more. We got this. Let's go ahead and start by distributing on number 9. This negative 4 times 2n is negative 8n. Negative 4 times, be careful here. Negative 4 times negative 6. Negative times negative is positive 24. So it's going to be a plus 24. I'm going to put a hidden invisible 1 in front of that n. So I'm going to bring down 1n plus 6. It's just going to make sure that I keep my information straight. A lot of you might want to minus 1n from both sides first, but I like to get rid of negatives whenever I can. So I'm actually going to choose to add 8n next to both sides. Totally your choice. Negative 8n and positive 8n is 0, so those cancel out, leaving me with 24. 1n plus 8n is 9n, and then I'm going to bring down the plus 6. All right, minus 6 from both sides next. Cancel those out. 24 minus 6 is 18, I believe. Bring down that symbol, bring down 9n. And then the very last step is divide both sides by 9. We are not dividing by a negative, so we are not flipping the symbol. Leave it what it is. 18 divided by 9 is 2. Again, same problem we've been having. N comes last, so you're going to have to read it backwards. So n is actually greater because the open thing is to the n, so n needs to be greater than 2. So we're looking for an n is greater than 2, which is right here, W. Okay, number 10, we're distributing on both sides. 2 times 7n is 14n. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. Double check with your calculator if you're not quite sure or if I'm going too fast. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times negative n, you're just going to squish it all together, would be negative 3n. All right, I'm going to move a variable. I'm either going to subtract 14n or add 3n. You know I like to get rid of negatives, so I'm going to add 3n on both sides. You could totally have subtracted 14n though, if that's what you want to do. Those cancel out. 14n plus 3n is 17n. Bring down your minus 2 and your symbol and your 15. Next up, I'm going to get rid of this minus 2 by adding 2 on both sides. Cancel those out. Bring down your 17n and your symbol. 15 plus 2 is 17. This is looking promising. I'm dividing both sides by 17. A lot of people think a number divided by itself is 0, but that's not correct. A number divided by itself is 1. A number minus itself is 0, but divided by is 1. So we're looking for an n is greater than or equal to 1. Right there, P. All right, 2 left, and they are the hardest, but I would love to see you all pause the video and try these last 2 on your own if you're ready. If you don't feel ready, I'm going to work them out with you, but I just think after 10 of these plus our previous day's work, I really think you could try these 2 on your own. So if you get a second, pause the video, try it. If you're not wanting to try it by yourself, I'm working them out. Don't you worry. On the left, the negative 2 is getting distributed. So I'm going to just bring 7n down, not do anything with that. And I'm going to distribute the negative 2. So negative 2 times n, just squish it together, is negative 2n. Negative 2 times 5 is negative 10. So it's going to look like minus 10. Bring down your symbol. I'm going to bring just all of this down. All right, the next thing we're going to look for is like terms. On the right, these are not like terms, but on the left, we have some that are alike, and it's the 2 that have the variable. So we've got a 7n and a minus 2n. So let's go ahead and subtract 7 minus 2. That would be 5n. And now I'm just going to bring everything else down. Minus 10, 3n minus 16. Now I'm going to move one of the variables, either 5n, I'm going to subtract it, or 3n, I'm going to subtract it. I'm going to choose the 3n. So I'm going to subtract 3n on both sides. All right, they cancel over here. Over here, I'm going to have to do the math. 5n minus 3n is 2n. Bring down minus 10, bring down my symbol, bring down negative 16. Add 10 on both sides next. Cancel, cancel, bring down 2n. Negative 16 plus 10 is negative 6. And don't flip the symbol just because you see a negative. What we're going to do to get n by itself now is divide by a positive 2. So we do not flip the symbol because we are not dividing by a negative. Negative 6 divided by positive 2 is negative 3. All right, so we're looking for an answer of n is less than negative 3. N is less than negative 3. Oh, there it is. Oh. All right, last one. Again, pause the video if you can, if you want to try it. This one's a big problem. All right, here we go. We're going to distribute first on the left. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times negative 3n is negative 12n. And then I'm just going to bring down minus 14 for now. We're also going to distribute on the right. 4 times 2n is 8n. 4 times 3 is 12. But because it's a positive 12, practice putting a plus in between. And then minus 9n. All right, we have like terms on the same side of the line. On actually both sides of the line. So I'm going to start on the left. We've got a 4 and a minus 14. 4 minus 14 is negative 10. and then I'm just going to bring down my minus 12n. On the right, my like terms are the n's, the 8n and the minus 9n. So 8 minus 9 is negative 1n. And then I'm just going to bring down my plus 12. Whew, okay, that was a lot. Next, you are going to choose to move a variable. So I'm going to either add 12n to both sides or add 1n. And I'm going to add 12n. You can add 1n if you want, totally fine. But I like to get rid of this really big negative. So I'm going to add 12n to both sides. Totally your option. So they cancel over here, leaving me with just negative 10. On the right, I've got negative 1n plus 12n. Negative 1n plus 12n, use your calculator to double check, but it should be 11n. And then I'm going to bring down my plus 12. All right, 2 more steps and we're done. We're going to minus 12 on both sides next. Be careful, this is not 2 or negative 2. That is a negative 10, and you're subtracting 12 more. So it's a greater negative. It should be negative 22. Double check with your calculator. And then we have 11n over here. And again, don't flip the symbol just because you see a negative. We are going to divide both sides by positive 11, which means I'm not flipping the symbol. I'm leaving it. So n, and then I'm just going to bring down the symbol as is. Negative 22 divided by 11 is negative 2. Now, again, in order to find this, we need to read it backwards, so you can rewrite it if you want. And the open mouth, the bigger mouth, is eating the negative 2, so it needs to go this way. N is less than negative 2, n is less than negative 2. And that one is, did I miss it? Yes, I did. It's T. Okay, if you really want to, you can fill in the boxes for the riddle, but I do not care about that one bit. I just use the riddle to make sure that we have the correct answers. So there you go.